Paige. And my uncle got married here with his first.
As in my parents, probably in the same chapel, which is now the parking lot. That's how long ago it was. Parents got married here on August 5th, 1979. Their anniversary is coming up. It'll be their 44th, if my math is right.
Yes.
Wow.
You do to have Shannon Derin.
My grandma spoke really. My grandma spoke really good Yiddish. The one word I remember most kids was buksha, which means what? Thank you in Yiddish. And then the other word she used was American. Yeah.
Where do you come from originally?
Originally, I was born in Los Angeles, and I live in Camarillo, San Roosevelt. Ventura County. My parents are Jewish. They were Jewish. We're really, I'm really. My mom was raised in a kosher home. Yeah, we're Ashkenazis. So we're really, my mom observed Shabbat also. Yeah. My grandma would probably make sure she always kept the kosher home. Always kept the kosher home.
No, from where?
Originally, my dad's side of the family was from Poland. Because my last name's Kapler. So it's kind of a little bit of Russian and Chinese, so a little bit of Chinese and Russian. Russian, a little bit of Chinese blood. Chinese. My grandfather was Chinese, had Chinese blood in him. Yeah. Yeah, I have a little bit of Chinese, but not like burly Chinese. Nah. Poland, yeah, because my last name's Catlin. My mom's maiden name was Zwirn, which is Dewin. They're from, I think that name is from Germany, Austria. So her side of the family was Austrian.
Asian?
No, Austrian. Austrian.
Oh.
So my dad was born, his last name was Katler, so they came from Poland, and my mom's side was from Austria. It was from Austria, mainly, and so we're Ashkenazi, so my family came from Europe. We do not know who survived the Holocaust. We do not know who survived it. My parents never brought that up in their life. Yeah, but it's like, and I know he is. Yeah, we're both Ashkenazi. Yeah, but now.
We don't know about that yet.
We're not ready yet. We're taking it very slow.
Right.
But we have our 1 year anniversary coming up in January.
Good luck to you anyway.
Thank you. January 22nd. 22nd, yeah. This is our 6 months. We just
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what my grandmother says. My grandmother says like Basil talk.
Well, that's Havdalah.
Not yet, but I'm looking for a job right now for
But it's
my
Havdalah.
mom's trying to get me into regional school, our regional center,
Do you want me to show you?
and
Do you want me to show
regional
you?
center's not doing their part of the deal on they're not doing their part of the deal on their end of the page. So
Oh, it's
my
in
mom's
Minha.
trying to hook
In
up
March.
with a
Yeah. It'll be in there.
determination to see if I can get a job through that.
No, it's in there.
So I am playing that game.
You're in Minha, so what you're talking about is in Mari.
I'm gonna be planning on getting a job at either Petco, PetSmart, or
Keep going.
So I'm very excited about that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no problem. You want to lead Mincha? Great. Okay, we're gonna start in just 2 minutes. Just making sure that I have everything. Hello. How are you doing? Good to see you too. Yes. Sure. Yes, of course. No problem. That's not a little thing.
There we go.
When did that happen?
She fainted. She'd been sick and she hadn't been holding down food. And every day she was drinking, but she just fell because she fainted. Unfortunately, it was right outside Yaakov's room, and he was home because he's dead from that. But he and I was away picking up some medication, But you saw, immediately called 911, which was very good. And then they took her to Cedars. Blood pressure was at 65 over 32, which is extremely low.
Yeah. Well, I'm
And
glad
which
she's
means,
okay.
yes, she is okay. I didn't make it to Shoal today because I was at home.
That's okay. We'll let you have a pass.
No, you gotta be.
Mark, are you reading for us?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Shabbat shalom. It's lovely to see you all. We're going to begin on page. Go when you're better at this.
214.
214?
Yes.
214. I just didn't hear you. Sorry.
Hey,
Oh wait.
Weekly Slim Show.
Yeah, this is on page. We're on page 170. And the weekly Slim Shalom, I think most of you have. Oh, but if you're in the Lev Shalom, it's on page 214. All right, Alan's gonna begin, so we're gonna.
Ashrei Shvevetech Yalech Hasela Ashram Shachalo Ashram Shalav Tila David. Tilad na yeda bepi, vivarecha v'sashen kod shelelam v'hed, v'anachnu nevarech Yah, me'atav yad olam, hallelujah. Uva l'tzion goel, shepesha b'kol Yaakov num Adonai. V'tisa'eni ruach v'shmachar korash kadosh. Kadosh, 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 etzol l'chad tzvodah. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Titen even leYaakov chesed l'Avraham asher nishbata l'avotenu mi'imei kedem. V'yivdechu v'chayot Shemecha ki lo zoter shachar Adonai Adonai chafetz l'man tzidko yagdil Torah v'yadir. Yitkada v'yikada Shemei Rabba v'amad yivakiruteh v'amlich machuteh v'chaychon u'vyomechon v'chayedecho v'Yisrael v'agala v'zman kaviv v'imu amen. Yesh v'abba mevorach le'olam le'olam hayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbarach v'yitma v'yitnaseh v'yidada v'yidala v'yidala shemed gudesha b'richu le'elam ingo v'yachata v'shirata tishbata v'nachamata daman v'alma v'imu amen. Vani tfilati l'Adonai et ratzon Elohim v'rov chastecha neni b'med yishecha.
Come
ושונאיך מפניך, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. גדלו אדוני תירום בשמו יחד.
לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה ומנסה לכל לראש. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו לאדם רגליו קדושו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. All slanted. Is there anybody who would like, and we have one aliyah already, anybody who would like the second or third aliyah? Does anybody have a yard site? Let's start there. Does anybody have a yard site? Marshall? Okay. Okay, so do you want an aliyah as well? Yes. Okay, great. Anybody want the third aliyah? Great, awesome. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're on page 309 if you're in the Siddur, and if you are in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, we're at the beginning of Parshat Ekev. What are you looking for? Yad? I don't know how.
Almost there. 1 second. I'll get there.
It's 1,020 something.
1,037.
There you go. I remember what it was this morning. Okay, dokie. Hold on 1 second. ותגלה ותרמח אותו לנו בזמן קרוב, ויחום בדתנו פלטת עמו בישראל לחנוך עשר רחמים רצה למן אמר אמן. הכבוד הוא הן כבוד לתורה. I'll give her my cigar. Or actually, can I? Oh, that's enough. תעמוד. רחל. בת יחזקאל, עלייה ראשון ברוך שנתן תורה למעשר בקדושתו. ואתם מנביאים עליכם, הם כולכם היום. So he's gonna show you where, and then you can use the chagar, the belt. You can kiss where he's gonna start. Is it Parshat Ekev? And then here's the blessing. Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. והיה עקב תשמעון את המשפטים האלה ושמרתם ועשיתם אותם, ושמר אדוני אלוהיך לך את הברית ואת החסד אשר נשבע לאבותיך, ואוהבך וברכך וירבך, וברך פרי בטנך ופרי אדמתך, דגנך ותירשך ויצריך, שגר על אפיך וישת רצונך, על האדמה אשר נשבע לאבותיך לתת לך. ברוך תהיה מכל העמים, לא יהיה בך עקר וקרה ובבהמתך. והסיר אדוני ממך כל חולי וכל מדווה מצרים הרעים אשר ידעת, לא ישימם בך ונתנם בכל שונאיך, ואכלת את כל העמים אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לה, לא תחוס עינך עליהם ולא תעבוד את אלוהיהם כמו כשולה. כי תאמר בלבבך רבים הגויים האלה ממני, איך אוכל להורישם. לא תירא מהם זכור תזכור את אשר עשה אדוני אלוהיך לפרעה ולכל מצרים, המסות הגדולות אשר ראו עיניך, והאותות והמופתים, והיד החזקה והזרוע הנטויה, אשר הוציאך אדוני אלוהיך, כן יעשה. אדוני אלוהיך לכל העמים, אשר אתה ירא מבניהם, וגם את הצירה ישלח אדוני אלוהיך בם, עד אבוד הנשארים והנסתרים מפניך, לא תרוץ מפניהם, כי אדוני אלוהיך בקרבך אל גדול ונורא.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו את תורתו תורת ملک بهای عالم ناطق בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Yasher koach. You can go stand over there. Ta'amad. Yeah, that's fine.
Stand over here.
I was putting him third, but we can wait for Hannah. What's your Hebrew name, Marissa?
Shoshana.
Shoshana bat.
Bella Moshe.
Bella Moshe Yasheni.
Page 1038, verse 22, 5 lines from the bottom.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
אמן. ונשל אדוני אלוהיך את הגויים האל מפניך מעט מעט, לא תוכל כלותם מהר, פן תרבה עליך חיית השדה. ונתנם אדוני אלוהיך לפניך, ועמה מהומה גדולה עד ישמדם, ונתן מלכיהם בידיך, ועבדת את שמם מתחת השמיים, לא יתייצב איש בבניך עד ישמידך אותם, וסילי אלוהיהם תשרפון באש, לא תחמוד כסף וזהב עליהם, ולקחת לה, פן תבקש בו, כי תאוות אדוני אלוהיך הוא, ולא תביא תועב על ביתך, והיית חרם כמו שקץ. תשקצנו ותתאבנו כי חרם הוא. כל המצווה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום תשמרון לעשות, למען תחיו וראיתם ובאתם וירשתם את הארץ אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיכם, וזכרת את כל הדרך אשר הוליכך אדוני אלוהיך זה 40 שנה במדבר, למענותך לנסותך, לדעת את אשר בלבבך, התשמור מצוותיו אם לא, ואינך ויריבך ויאכילך את המן אשר ידעת ולא ידון אבותיך, למען הודיעך כי לא על הלחם לבדו יחיה אדם, כי על כל מוצא אדוני יחיה האדם.
חזק ברוך.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'haye olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So now you go stand where she's standing. I'm gonna leave that here. Ya'amad. Meir. Ben Eliezer Live. Bechana. Aliyah Shlishit.
Page 1040, verse 4.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
אמן. שים להדך לבלת מעליך ורגלך לבצקה זה 40 שנה. וידעת עם לבביך כי כאשר יסר איש את בנו אדוני אלוהיך מייסרכה. ושאמרת מצוות אדוני אלוהיך ללכת בדרכיו וליראותו. כי אדוני אלוהיך מביאך ארץ טובה, ארץ נחלי מים, מעיינות ותהומות יוצאים בה בקע ובהר, ארץ חיטה ושעורה וגפן ותאנה ורימון, ארץ עץ שמן ודבש, ארץ אשר לו ומסכנות תאכל בה לחם, לא תחסר כל בה. ארץ אשר אבניה ברזל ומהרריך תחצוב נחושת, ואכלת ושבעת וברכת את אדוניך בארץ הטובה אשר נתן לך.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Steve, you want to lift? Ya'amot hamagbiya. Dan, do you want to rap? Yeah. Ta'amot hagolelet. Please rise for lifting and wrapping of the Sefer Torah. Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomechei ha-meushar. Eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomechei ha-meushar. Yeah, this one doesn't matter. You can put on whichever one. All right, Alan, you're back up. Oh, no. We have yard sites. Hannah, do you want to do it? Do you want to come hold the Torah for your yard sites? Or do you want Marshall to? It's. I don't. Oh, yeah. Come on up. Marshall, do you want to do the El Male? Okay. Let me. If you feel comfortable holding it, that'd be great. And then Marshall will do the amale for you. Oops. Do you want me to help you hold it? No. You might want to. Oh, you're going to actually stand. Yeah.
Stand.
Yeah. Oops. Okay. There. So you're going to hold. Put this hand over here.
Oh, this hand?
Like you would hold a baby. Oh. Right? You want to make sure it doesn't fall.
This is the way I hold a baby.
Well, this El Male is being recited in memory of my father-in-law, Nehemiah Gutman, and his brother, Joseph Gutman, who coincidentally passed away on the same date in the Hebrew calendar. Now, I must admit that I sort of missed the announcement from the shul in terms of my father-in-law, because I remember that he died on the 28th of July, 1998, which corresponded to around the 25th of Sivan. So I sort of missed it there, of Tammuz, I'm sorry. So I sort of missed it there. So we figured we'd better get it in now when we have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better late than never.
Okay. El Male Rachamim Shochen Bamromim Hamtzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina B'malot Ketoshim Utorim Kazor Rakia Masirim L'nishmot Nehemi Ben Tzvi Chanoch V'Kaila V'gam Yosef ben Tzvi Chanoch v'Kaila shalchu la'olamam B'gan Eden tehei menuchatam Ana ba'al rachamim hastirehu b'seiter knafecha le'olamim Utzror b'tzror chayim et nishmotehem Adonai hu nachalatam v'yanuach b'shalom amishkavotehem v'nomar Amen. My father-in-law and his brother were survivors of concentration camps. After the war, they moved to Munich. They were in business there for several years, then immigrated to the United States. My uncle, my father's brother, Joseph, was in New York City. And my father-in-law was one of the chicken farmers in New Jersey. And you may have seen the recent book which came out, Speaking Yiddish to Chickens. That one talks mostly about Vineland, but there was also a mention there of Estelle Manor, where Hannah lived for the first 18 years of her life. So I can only say, first 20 years of her life, okay. And so I can only say that they were both supporters of their synagogue. My father-in-law at H. Jacob here in LA on Beverly Boulevard, and Uncle Joe at the Riverside, Hebrew Institute of Riverside. And both felt it was just very, very important to be involved in Jewish life on a regular basis.
When they
So-
retired.
When they retired, when they retired.
Well, actually, my father prayed like every day from when I was a little girl.
Yeah, so
My mother became an atheist. She came from a Hasidic family. But you know, the Holocaust changed a lot of things.
okay, Zichrono Livracha.
Yeah, may their memories forever be a blessing. Is there anybody else who has a yard site today? Yeah, come on.
Okay.
You can come up here. Yeah, you can come up, yeah.
My grandfather Benjamin ben Asher
Okay.
and Murati Inni Ateret Roshi, she died recently.
So your
My
father,
mother,
your father and your mother?
no, it was grandmother
Your grandfather?
and my mother.
And your mother.
Sanobar Farang Khanum Khubian Bat Esther Halevi.
Okay, let me do one at a time. So I'll do your grandfather first, and then we'll do your mother, okay? Okay. El male rachamim, shochen bamromim, hametzeh menucha nechona, tachat kanfei hashchina, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר כי המסירים, לנשמת, what's your grandfather's name? בנימין בן אשר שהלך לעולמו בגן עדן תהא מנוחתו אנא בעל הרחמים הסירהו בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור חיים את נשמתו אדוני הוא נחלתו וינוח בשלום המשכבו ונאמר אמן. And now your mother? So when I pause, I'll have you say her whole name, okay? Okay. El male rachamim, shochen bamromim, hametzeh menucha nechona, tachat kanfei hashchina, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר כי המסירים, לנשמת.
סנובר, פרנگ خوبیان بد ربی حیم و استر حلبی.
שהלכה לעולמה בגן עדן תהא מנוחתה אנא בעל הרחמים הסיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור חיים את נשמתה אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום המשכבה ונאמר אמן. Do you want to share a memory of either of them? You want to share a story or a memory of them?
For my mother?
Sure.
My mother, she was over than 100 years old.
Wow.
But she remembered every month. When we say Adar, she sing a song for the Esther and Mordechai. When we say Nisan, she say Passover something song. When one Friday, 30th in the Nissan and Numa Iyar. She was talking to the nurse. She was very okay. 5:30, they say she's dead. They say, but with the nurse talking, laughing, she made happy. They say they are working for us. We should very respect of them. If I say they didn't do good job, and she said never say it. They for one piece of bread, they are doing for me. They middle of night coming for help me. And the same day, she منوخاتو بگن Eden was for Shabbat. He was side by side my father. Maybe my father read for her Bar Yochai. That's my
Yehi Zichra Baruch, may her memory forever be for a blessing, and your grandfather as well. And she sounds like she brought a lot of joy to your life and to everybody's life around her.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I'll be outside.
Okay, great.
Michael.
Come on up. Anybody else? Okay. No, that's great. Great. I just wanted to make.
To be like right for a second.
Great. Do you want to hold the Torah?
Yes, this is for cousin Michael.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold it.
Do you know his Hebrew name?
Not really by name, but we
I'll just
call
say
him
Michael. Great.
Cousin
That
Michael.
sounds
Catler.
awesome. Okay. Catler, you said?
Catler, yeah.
Okay, great.
Schneider. That's his last name, Schneider.
Matt Schneider.
Michael. Schreier.
Okay, I'm just gonna say Michael. Does that sound good?
that
Okay,
sounds
great. El Malei Rachamim Shochein Bamromim Hametzeh Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina B'ma'alot Kedoshim U'Tehorim Kezohar Ki Amazhirim Lenishmat Michael Shehalach Leolamo Began Eden Tehem Menuchato Ana Bal Harachamim Hasirehu B'Seter Knafecha Leolamim Utzro B'Tzra Chaim Et Nishmato Adonai Hu Nachalato Ve'anuach B'Shalom HaMishkavo V'Nomar Amen.
My favorite song of cousin Michael was he always kept a kosher home. Always did.
So nice.
And cousin Sue was always on top of things. Like every Shabbat, they go for Chinese food. That's one of my favorite memories.
Nice traditions.
Very
Yehi
traditional.
Zichra
Very
Baruch.
traditional.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Thanks for sharing all those memories with us, everyone. Okay, we're on page 176, and Alan will return the Torah. I think it's been kind of. Hadoler Tzvashamayim Vayarim Keren Lehamo Tehila Lecho Chasidav Livnei Yisrael Am Karovo Hallelujah.
LeDavid Mizmor. Muse Melech Havod Adonai Tzvaotu Melech HaKavod Selah Uvnu Hayamai. It's Chaim Chimachim Bav Zom Chacham Eroshad Rehadach Noam V'choni V'teh Shalom Shivenu Adonai Lecha V'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem Yitgad Avi Kedash Me'abba Ve'amadi V'akim V'tevam Lichmachute B'chayechon V'yamechon V'chayrecho Be'Yisrael B'aglav Izman Kavivimu Amen Ish Me'abba V'ach Le'lam V'lameo Mayaha Yitbarach V'ishtabach V'yitpar V'yitma V'yinaseh V'yitadar V'yidalev V'yidalash V'yidagudisha B'richu Le'elam Ingo B'chata V'shirata Tushpata V'nechamata Deron Be'omavimu Amen.
If you have not yet finished your Amidah, please continue at your own pace. Alan will begin the repetitions for us on page 178. In the Lev Shalem is on page
223.
223. Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Eloi Avotenu Eloi Avraham Eloi Yitzhak v'Eloi Yaakov Eloi Esau Eloi Rivka Eloi Rachel Eloi Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora Eloyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avod U'Mevi Goel Livnei V'Naim L'man Shmo B'Yava Melech Ozer v'Yidom Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avavokei Tzara אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מלחמת ולהושיע מוריד הטל מחלחל חיים וחסד מכין דברכים רבים סומך נפלים והופך חולים ומתיר אסורים וקיימתו לשנה עפר מלחמה בגר ורוד ומדום מלך מלך מימין וחיים מצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שלחתי שבתו בשמי מרום וככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר קדוש 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 ענה צבאו בכל הארץ כבודו למתן ברוך יאמרו ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו דברי קודשך כתוב לאמור ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור אדוני יגודלך לנצח נצים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו למימוש לעולם ועד כי מלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש אתה אחד ושמך אחד, מכם תסוגר אחד בארץ, תפארת גדולה ועטרת ישועה, יום מנוחה קדושה לעמך נתת, אברהם יגל, יצחק ירנן, יעקב ובניו ינוחו בו, מנוחת אהבה ונדבה, מנוחת אמת ואמונה, מנוחת שלום ושלווה והשקט והבטח, מנוחה שלמה שאתה רוצה בה, יכירו בניך וידעו כי מיתך היא מנוחתם, ועל מנוחתם יקדישו את שמך. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, וצבי מנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חכנו בתורתך, סבנו בטובך, ושמחנו בישועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו בעבר ברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו וישמחו בקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת, ורצה אדוני אלוהינו וחסר ותפילתם, והשבת הודה לי בביתך, תפילתם עבדו ברצון תהי רצון תמיד תודה ישראל עמך, ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון, מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה אדוני אלוהינו ואבותינו מעולם ועד, ציין הטוב כאילו חלו רחמך, רחם כאילו תמך חסדיך, מעולם קיווינו לך, ועל כולם יתברך ברם שמך מלכנו, תמיד לעולם ועד. ועל יודוך סלע, והעלות שמך באמת, הישועתנו עזרתנו סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולכן להודות. שלום רב ישראל רב הקושי תפאר תשים לעולם, גרתם מלך אדון לכל השלום, וטוב בעיניך לברד ובחסר בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. צדקתך? or no? צדקתך? No? Notzikatcha?
Is it on the bottom of that page? Oh, sorry, I just missed it. Yes, go ahead, sorry.
צדקתך צדק לעולם, ותורתך אמת, צדקך אלוהים עד מרום, אשר עשית גדולות, אלוהים מי כמוך, צדקתך כאל, משפטך תהום רבה, אדם ובהמה תושיע אדוני. קדיש שלם. יתגדל ויגדש ורבה, ועמד דבר כיהודי ולפרחותי בחייכון וביומייכון וחייכו בישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב עמו, אמן. יש ורבה וברך לעולם ולעמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתמר וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלש ויתקדשה בריחו. לאלה מתגור ברכתה ושירתה, תושבתה ונחמתה דרון בעלמה ועמו, אמן. תתגבר צלחות וברכות לכל ישראל, כאדם ולשמיה ועמו, אמן. יש לרב מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועמו, אמן. עושה שלום עממה והוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועמו, אמן. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא אדוני אחד ושמו אחד יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם אלומי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. ואלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Please feel free to get some food. I'm going to start teaching while you're getting food because we already called you a little bit earlier today than we normally do because Havdalah is in the middle of, anyway, it's at 8:37 as opposed to 8:35 or 8:40, so it's a few minutes earlier. So I'm going to try to end my teaching by 8:15. So I'm going to start while you're getting food, which is totally fine. I won't be distracted by you getting food, but I just wanted you to know, get some food, take a seat. We'll do some learning until about 8:15, and then we'll do Mariv and Havdalah.
Really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do the ordering. I haven't seen that one. Oh, interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah. 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 Wow. That's very interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of it before. So interesting. I'll have to take a look. No, no, no. Sounds scary. Yeah, yeah.
Thankful everything's okay.
Yeah.
On the services today.
Yeah.
And the troll was celebrating the Grossman was celebrating their 60th
Oh,
anniversary.
so nice. That's so sweet. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't get down there.
It doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. That's
So,
good.
are you
Did he
back?
read Torah?
I wasn't here. I don't know. I stayed.
Oh, right. I was at Ramah last week. So, yes, I am back from Ramah. Yeah.
Yaakov was up at Ramah.
Oh, good.
He went back. He was supposed to be Rosh Hashanah for a
Right.
session.
Right.
He opted out of the second session because he's got too much to get rid of. Well, I'm sure there may be other things too, but that's a very practical.
Yeah.
The most important thing is he's well prepared.
Oh, totally. Yeah. That's great.
That makes
That's really good.
sometimes if you leave earlier than anticipated, it's not on the best of terms.
Sure. Yeah.
He handled it well.
Good.
He knows how to take care of himself.
That's
I'm
great.
very happy.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very
Good.
So we'll have a good class today.
All right, so I'm going to start. I know that people are still getting food, but if you don't mind not chatting while you're getting food, then I'll be able to start. Rosa, I'm going to start teaching. So we can, I just want to make sure that we have enough time. So I'm going to start while people are still in line getting some food. So this week is Parshat Akev, and there's a very powerful, I think, known passage in this week's Parsha, all about the idea of carrying around the tablets of the Torah, or of the Ten Commandments, I should say. So today we actually read the Ten Commandments. For those of us who read a full Kriya, you also read the Shema. And then in this coming week's Parsha, which we read some of already today, we actually get this rule, this mitzvah, this honor of how to carry around the tablets while the people are going through the desert. Just as a reminder, Deuteronomy, the book of Devarim, is a book of complete recapitulation, right? So everything that has happened in Devarim, except for like the last two parshiot, is all a memory book, right? All a diary recount of what has already happened, mostly in Genesis and Exodus. A little bit of Leviticus, basically none of Numbers, and so you're getting narrative again. But if you're interested in the idea of the documentary hypothesis, you're getting narrative again, but in a very different way and in a very different voice, it seems. So some people think that it's God telling it in now a mature, different voice. Others say that it's just a different writer of the Torah. Whatever you would like to believe is totally fine, but it is the same stories told in a different way at the end of the Torah, before the Torah finishes, and then we start it all over again. So we get here a moment where we are being told to hold on to the tablets, not just the first tablets. Sorry, not just, I gave away, I led with the answer here. Not just the second tablets, but also the first tablets, which were broken, which were shattered. So before we get into this sheet here, my question for you is, why? Why would a people walk around with something that's already quite heavy and add to it basically trash, right? Why would we walk around with something that is not useful, not necessary? broken, in shards, not readable any longer. What's the reason for carrying around the broken as well as the newly written? Any ideas? Marshall.
Well, once something has a status of sanctity,
Great.
merely by the fact that it's broken, you don't.
Beautiful. So Marshall's reading in a modern day conception of what we do with holy objects or even holy parts of our bodies, that we actually bury them. We take them with us. We don't just discard them. We make sure that there is something holy done to them because they too are holy. So it doesn't matter that they're broken, Marshall's saying. It matters that they were holy, that they were once holy, that they continue to be holy. And so we take them with us. In this case, we're not burying them, but we're taking them with us. Yeah, Irv.
I think it's a memory not to screw up again.
Great. So there's also, I know you kind of say that tongue in cheek, but it's very real. Like there is this idea that we carry around with us that which is broken so that we remember not to do what we did to cause the breaking before again, right? Not to relive our past, but to continue forward with our future. Any other ideas? Yes, Stevie.
If the first broken tablets were written by God and the second tablets were written by Moses,
Yeah.
then there's some amount of like, here's the evidence that what's written on these tablets is the authentic text, because you can see, like the little bits you can see match, right?
Beautiful. So Stevie's saying that kind of to add on to this idea of if something is holy, you keep it. If the first tablets were written by the finger of God, and then the second tablets, it's very clear, were written by Moshe once the first were broken, then we really want to keep the first ones, even though they're broken, because it's evidence, it's resource of God having written down the 10 Commandments that then Moshe copied down a second time. Any other thoughts? Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, it's kind of what Irv was saying, see a connection, like burying things in Geniza
Mhm.
are usable, like a Siddur,
Mhm.
missing pages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what Marshall was saying. That's exactly right. So the other piece of this is the holiday that we just had this past week was Tisha B'Av, right? Why do we have Tisha B'Av in 2023? That's true. Why do we have Tisha B'Av in modern day? Good point. Why do we have Tisha B'Av in modern day? Yeah, I'm kind of trying to get you to put these two things together, right? This idea of something that is broken, carrying it with us into a time that is in a moment of repair, albeit potentially not 2023. But this idea of carrying with us the memory of, the history of, the remnants of brokenness into moments of repair and growth, and therefore sustaining that which is broken to be something that we focus on as our repair and building towards a future. Okay, we're not going to focus on Tisha B'Av, but I did want to bring those two pieces together because it's part of what I was putting this source sheet together on Tisha B'Av, and so it's part of what caught my attention was that it's interesting that this parsha happens right after this year, right after Tisha B'Av. Oh yeah, every year. You're right. Yeah, you're right. It's a good point. That this parsha happens after Tisha B'Av because then we're getting this idea again, right? Not just in a holiday, not just in something that seems to be a little bit more modern than the Torah, but something that reminds us that even in ancient history, that the first time that something was broken, we were told to hold on to it. Turn the page over. The first very long commentary on here is just to remind you what the tablets are being kept in, and because we don't have so much time, I want us to skip to the less kind of historical reminders and more of the like tachlis of this particular verse. So if you want to read through the historical reminder, feel free to. And I'm sorry that I don't have enough sheets for everybody, but I did put page numbers, everyone. So it's a good day in the Rabbi Schatz world for having page numbers. So on page 2, I never get to say that. Okay, so in Bava Batra, in the Gemara, we get the following story, and it's actually going to go into what we're going to read in Menachos in just a second. The Gemara inquires, and doesn't the other sage, Rabbi Meir, also require it for that? Don't worry about what that means. It's going to explain it in a second. The Gemara answers, yes, it is indeed so. Rather, from where does he derive that the broken pieces of the first set of tablets were placed in the ark? The Gemara expounds, he derives this from that which Rav Yosef taught. As Rav Yosef taught in a Baraita, the verses state, At that time, the Lord said to me, hew for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. This teaches that both the second set of tablets and the broken pieces of the first set of tablets were placed in the ark. So what are the rabbis telling us this for? What does this kind of explain for us a little bit more? Great, to learn from the past, but even more like specifically, what are the rabbis getting at just on a tachlis, on a basic level here? Okay, you're all giving me great drashot. I'm just asking for like basics. What are the rabbis telling us? What's the basics here? But yes, that's true, Hannah. It's not a trick question.
That they actually put the pieces in the ark.
Yeah, exactly. The rabbis are saying there's no way that this actually happened, right? The verse, we actually didn't read the verse. I skipped over the verse completely. The verse says, I will inscribe on the tablets the commandments that were on the first tablets that you smashed, and you shall deposit them in the ark. Right, that verse doesn't actually explicitly say all the pieces and all the new tablets that are whole are also going to go in the ark. Right, so the rabbis are asking this question of what went in the ark. It's a little bit unclear from the Hebrew and even from the English translation what the subject is, right? Like, is it the broken pieces that you're going to deposit in the ark? Is it the new ones that you just told me to write that are going into the ark? It's unclear which ones are actually going to go in. So as Stevie pointed out, and I'm sorry that I forgot to read the verse, I was very excited about the commentaries. The rabbis are saying it's pretty clear that that not only are we mentioning that these new ones are going to be written and then put in, but also those other pieces that you broke are going to also go into this wandering tabernacle. Any questions or thoughts about that? I mean, it's just like saying no one's sure that the Exodus happened, right? Like, I guess not. But I think what the rabbis are getting at here is that they are sure that what the sentence in the Torah meant was that it wasn't just the put together tablets, that it was also the broken tablets. Yeah, Alan.
That's the whole thing. The word says shemachtam, that you will put them.
Samtem, you mean?
Yeah, but samtem, whatever.
Yeah.
Samtem.
Yeah.
So you'll put them. It could be the 2 tablets.
Right.
But that could be construed as being one item. Because
Right.
It's 2 tablets
Right.
in one form.
Right.
Or it could easily include the broken pieces or both.
Right, exactly. So I think the rabbis, as Stevie said earlier, this is the rabbis saying, for sure we know that what Vesamtem means is that they put all of the pieces, right, the shards and the full pieces into the ark to carry with them. By the way, I just want to mention, just so you have a concept of whether or not this happens in today's day, when we have a Pasul Torah, let's just use Betham for an example. Is it in the ark?
It's in the ark, we then you wrap it up.
Right. Exactly. So we don't hide it away. Now at Temple Betham, there, you can't really go into a room that has a closet and not open it and find a Torah. But that's hidden away because we don't have enough arks. But in fact, in that cabinet right there are about 3 Torahs. Yeah, but the idea is that you don't just remove it because it's possible. You do exactly what Marshall just said. You put the chagura, you put the belt on the outside so that you know not to use it, but you don't dispose of it at all, right? You don't even remove it from its place. You keep it where it is. It then gets repaired and then you use it again. But we don't actually get rid of it. We're not ashamed of it. And so too with this, right? We're not ashamed of the fact, even though if we think back to the story of what caused the broken tablets, right? There's that really beautiful midrash that says, Yasher koach sheshibarta, like, good job, you broke the tablets because it allowed for repair and tikkun and all those things. But what led to the breaking of the tablets was not so great, right? None of that was wonderful. Just like when we talk about, I said we weren't going to talk about Tisha B'Av, but just like when we talk about Tisha B'Av, the actions leading up to Tisha B'Av are not seen as rewardable actions. And yet what we learn from the idea of losing a temple could be seen as beautiful lessons, right? That's not to say that we don't want a temple, but would we have known from this kind of prayer had there remained a temple, right? Would we have known from spirituality beyond sacrifice if there was still a temple, right? So there is some tikkun, there is some repair from that brokenness. So this next piece of menachot, some of it is going to sound similar, but it's going to expound a bit more on what Bava Batra did. Menachot is also from the Talmud, it's another Masechet. Having mentioned the principle that one does not downgrade in matters of sanctity, so this gets back to the idea of it being a holy object, the Gemara cites a related issue. The verse states, "At that time the Lord said to me," this is the verse that I went back and read for you a few minutes ago, "Hew for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and I will write on the tablets the words that were the first tablets, which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark." Rav Yosef teaches a baraita. This verse teaches that both the tablets, is what we just read in Bava Batra, both the tablets of the covenant and the pieces of the broken tablets are placed in the ark. This is the new piece. One should learn from here that with regard to a Torah scholar who has forgotten his Torah knowledge due to circumstances beyond her control, for example, illness, one may not behave towards her in a degrading manner. Although the first tablets were broken, it is prohibited to treat them with disrespect due to their sanctity. A Torah scholar who forgot the Torah knowledge she once possessed is likened to these broken tablets. I did not change that he to she, by the way. That was there when I copied it. So what is this now equating the broken tablets to that we understand in our lives? Okay, potentially an older person, right? Someone who is losing their memory, someone who potentially has kind of ceased to be able to put the pieces together in a linear way. Yeah.
Like Alzheimer's, like dementia.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what Marsha was getting at, Rosa.
I'm thinking, okay, the American flag, when it is torn and tattered, it gets a burn.
Correct.
In other words, it's treated with sanctity.
Yes. Totally. That's exactly right. So anything that we hold, and thank you for bringing in something that wasn't necessarily Jewish, right? Anything that we might hold as sanctified, we don't just throw away. We bury it. We see it as a piece of holiness that we have to do something respectful with.
Well, in Israel, the Israeli flag, isn't it also
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
It's not just thrown in the trash.
Right. I was agreeing with you. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else that this piece is reminding you of or bringing to light for us? Yeah, Sandra. Mm-hmm. 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 Beautiful. And I will add to that and then repeat it again for those who couldn't hear you, that what I think this text is also trying to get us to imagine is that because we're working through something doesn't mean that we're broken. Right? That we use the idea of broken tablets to equate us to all the scenarios that you mentioned, grief, going through some kind of mental state, or being born with something that disables us from putting all the pieces together, not having a full capacity in the understanding or the cognitive ability that others around us might have, or just feeling not yourself, right? We all have days where we just don't feel ourselves, and therefore we might feel broken. But I think what this text is trying to remind us by saying, no, those pieces go right next to the holiest of tablets, is that they might seem broken, they might look broken, they might actually be in shards, but they're not broken. They're just in a different state at this particular moment. And so finding ourselves a way to recognize that we might feel like we're bunches of pieces needing to be put back together, that each one of those pieces is very much whole, and now we just need to figure out how to feel back ourselves. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally. Yeah. Yes. For sure. And the next text is going to have even more of that compassion. That's exactly right. That there's something that the rabbis are getting at, that God, Moshe, whoever really understood that to be compassionate for both the experience that caused the broken tablets, but also the fact that those tablets were wholly written by God, done with kavanah, that we should have compassion for them, right? For that they meant something, they were significant, and to be able to take them as they are, even in this quote broken state. So this last midrash here, it's gonna, midrash, for those of you who haven't studied midrash in the past, midrash picks up different pieces from different parts of Torah. So I'm not gonna read all of the citations, but just so you understand, that's what's happening here. It's bringing in different quotes from I was gonna say all over, but different places in Deuteronomy, which is what is meant by thou shalt overlay it with gold within and without. Now it's talking about making the tabernacle, and there was gold on the outside and there was gold on the inside. He said to him, even though the wooden casket is to be inserted between them, handle it with the utmost care. Why? Because the Torah, the tablets, and even the broken tablets will be placed within it. Hence, treat it with honor, since it is said, you shall put them in the ark. That is, both the second tablets and the broken tablets shall be placed inside it. And you shall put them in the ark. That is to say, even if you should see students of Torah who are poor and unfortunate, treat them with respect, for the law is stored within them. This to me is really a text of compassion, and in a way that you don't often hear rabbis talking about people who are less fortunate, especially people who might have special needs, right? That there's often a category, right, where you might expect anybody, right? Someone who's deaf, someone who's blind, someone who doesn't have two legs, that there's some kind of misfortune there. But what the rabbis are trying to tell us is that no, they have Torah within them also. No matter how you might define them, that, the disability, if you might call that broken, but what we're reminding you as rabbis is that that is actually extremely powerful Torah. Because first of all, it's Torah that you don't have, right? I'm lucky enough to have two legs. So if someone is teaching me something about the way they get around in the world with only one leg, that's Torah I don't have. And that doesn't mean that they're broken. That just means that that's a part of me that I don't have, and they're now adding that for me. So what this midrash is getting at is that there, as we've now all said, but this idea of compassion, that when you bring together the parts of you, of others, of Torah, that might not feel like they really go together, that might not be the highlights, right? It might not be the things that you want to really lift up. Those things too have Torah to teach us. They have gems to be able to teach us something about something, right? No matter what it is. I remember a teaching about the Shema, that there's a very troubling halacha about the Shema, that if you're deaf, if you cannot hear, you don't say the Shema, because the first word is listen. And if you can't hear, why say the word listen? And one of the teachings that I heard on this, again, very troubling halacha, something that, again, is not a piece of Torah that you would necessarily lift up, it's part of that broken Torah in my mind, is the teaching that no matter if you can hear or not, you can still say something that other people can listen to, right? You can still put out into the world that which someone else is listening to. And what I said to the B'nai Mitzvah earlier today was that listening is very different than hearing. Listening uses understanding and means that you're going to act on something and hear someone and be able to really respond to them. Hearing is just passive, right? You might hear something in passing, but you don't necessarily have to engage with it. So I think that what this is, and then I'm happy to hear some last comments. I think what this text is teaching us, and again, on the heels of Tisha B'Av, I think this is even more powerful. I think what this text is teaching us is that sure, we might use the word broken, and in our minds, we might think of scattered ceramics or glass or whatever you might be thinking of. But what our rabbis are trying to teach us is that each of those pieces is something holy and is something that is whole and can teach us something. And so that's why we keep it together with that which is complete and actually looks whole, to remind us that we can learn even from those broken pieces, and that from those broken pieces, we are also able to grow. Does anybody have any final comments or thoughts on this? Yeah, Marshall. Yeah.
The last word here is quite interesting. The dual dalim. I was trying to figure out where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the word dal, which means low.
Yeah.
So it's like dal dal.
Yeah.
Really low.
Right,
Which
right,
is translated as unfortunate.
right.
But not only is the person poor, but he's really, really low.
Yeah, yeah. Right, like someone who can't even bring themselves out of whatever they're in, right? They're so low in themselves and in their work that they can't bring themselves out of it. Yeah. Any other thoughts or comments? Okay. Yeah. Saving it? What do you mean? Oh, you mean because it's like a broken off piece of the temple? That's really interesting. It's a really beautiful idea that there's something so, this idea of the kotel is a broken off piece of something that was so powerful and whole for us, and yet now we hold it in such high whole regard. That's really interesting. That's really, yeah, Alan.
The wall is viewed as an outside restraining wall for the wall. It was not part of the temple itself. It was a wall that was around.
Right, but it's still a part of the complex that was destroyed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The comment still stands correct. Yeah. Other thoughts? Okay. So. Yeah. Totally. Right, right. Exactly. Exactly. For sure, for sure. So I hope as we're going through Parshat Akev this week that you're able to think about those pieces inside you, right? That you've kind of categorized as broken or categorized as putting them aside as not important, but being able to uplift them as seeds for growth and the ability to be able to put those pieces together and hold them within a holy vessel. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to bench. Whoever ate a bagel could lead us in a zimun. Fabulous. You can lead it from there. That's okay. And then we'll do the first paragraph aloud, and then we'll let people finish it on their own, and then we will do Mariv. Lo peshuv Adonai.
Yehi Shem Adonai Mevarach Me'atav Yad Olam. Birshut Kavirai Nevarach Eloheinu Shechal Nemishalo.
Baruch Eloheinu Shechal Nemishalo Tuvo Chayinu.
Baruch Eloheinu Shechal Nemishalo Tuvo Chayinu. Baruch Shemo. Baruch Atah.
Amen. Yasha Koach, Joey. We're going to continue with Mari, which can be found on page 39. No, that's not true. 264. 39 was last night. We can go back 24 hours if you want. Page 264. And if you're able to do so, please rise. והוא רחום יכפר עוון ולא ישחית, והיא בא להשיב פה ולערכו חמתו, אדוני הושיע המלך יעננו ויום קוראנו, ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת אדוני ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Adonai Lechem Emet V'nakozok V'yamalim. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה בני ישראל לכהנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך בעלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נור התהילות אוסף אלה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקר יום לפני משה זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל אשכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשם ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ברוך אתה אדוני שומר עמו ישראל לעד ברוך אדוני לעולם אמן ואמן ברוך אדוני כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולם לעד תמלך בכבוד כי אין לנו מלך אלא אתה ברוך אתה אדוני המלך בכבודו תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ועל כל מעשיו יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה בעלמא דברה קראתי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמרה ומבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיא יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דאמירנה בעלמא ואמרו amen. The whispered Amidah is on page 270. We're not yet finished, Ramida. Please continue at your own pace. יתקדע ויקדע שמר הבא, בהמה דברה קרתי ומלך מלכותי, בחיי יכול ומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן, יהי שמר רבה וברך לעולם לעולמי המעיין. יתברך וישבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלש וקדושה ברכו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירנה בעלמא ואמרו אמן. והנה אמרנו אלוהינו עלינו מעשה ידינו כוננו עלינו מעשה ידינו כוננו יושב בסדר. יקראני ואינו עמו אנוכי בצרה חסי ואכבדי אורכם ממסביהו ורי בשועתי אורכם ממסביהו ורי בשועתי. We turn back to page 216. ותישאני רוח ושמע אחרי קורש גדול ברוך אדוני במקומו תברך מסמתם אדוני ימלוך לבן גדול. ויפתחו וחיודי שמך כי לא עזבת דרשך אדוני אדוני חפץ למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר. Page 280. יתקדע ויקדש שמי רבה בהמה דברה קרתי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חנו ימכנו וחיי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה וברך לעולם לעולמי המעיין. יתברך וישבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלש מקדושה ברכו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירנה בעלמא ואמרו אמן. תתקבל סוד ההון והתהון דכל ישראל קודם ובהון דבי שמיה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבים שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום מרמיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עלינו לשבח לאדוני כל לתת כל ארץ ראשי שלו עשינו בגאיות סבבה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שתשמע. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Mourner's Kaddish, page 282. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה ברכו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. Just a few announcements as I'm getting the Havdalah stuff ready. Tomorrow night there is a film group. It's actually with me and a film critic. Abe Freetanzer is a friend of mine. And our member, Seth Fisher, who's the writer of a Netflix, it was #1 on Netflix a few months ago, called The Night Agent. It is a series, so if you haven't started watching, either binge it tonight or just join us for a conversation. He's a wonderful guy, and it was a very fun series to watch. So if you can join us for that, it is tomorrow night I'm forgetting what time, I think 7:30 on Zoom, and we would love to have you. Also, there will be one Shiva Minyan happening throughout next week. Debbie Abel's mom passed away, and so there will be Shiva when they get back to Los Angeles starting, I believe, Wednesday morning, though don't quote me on that. I think it's Wednesday morning through Friday morning. And so if you're able to go to any of those Shiva Minyanim, information will go out tomorrow, and it'd be lovely to have your support and for you to be able to share your condolences with the Abels family. And that is it. הנה אל ישועתי אפתח ולא אפחד כי עוזי וזמרתיה אדוני ויהי לי לישועה ושפתם מים בששון ממעייני הישועה אדוני הישועה עלמך ברכתך סלע אדוני צבאות עמנו משגב לנו אלוהי יעקב אדוני צבאות אשר ידם בוטח בך אדוני המלך יעננו ויום קוראנו ליהודים הייתה אורה ושמחה וששון וכאן כן תהיה לנו כוס ישועות אשא ובשם אדוני אקרא יענני יענני Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei vesamim. Very smelly this week. Don't take too big of a sniff. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechoshech ben Yisrael le'amim ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yamei hamaseh Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lechol hamavdil ben kodesh lechol חטאותינו ימחו זרענו וחספנו ירבה ירבה כחו וככוכבים בלילה זרענו וחספנו ירבה ירבה כחו וככוכבים בלילה שבוע טוב שבוע טוב שבוע טוב שבוע טוב Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Eliyahu HaNavi, Eliyahu HaTishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu HaGiladi, Bimhera ve'yameinu, Yavo Ben David, Mashiach ben David. Shavua Tov, everyone. Have a great week. You're so welcome. Baruch Tiyeh.
Shavua Tov.
Yeah, thanks. Shavua
Tov.
I actually forgot to mention, I forgot to also mention,
Thank you for getting us connected today.
because my
That Taibo?
Yes?
Hi, just wanted to say hi.
Oh, yes. As I see your the past 2 weeks, you were at the shul and you're,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
as if you didn't know you needed me to tell you.
Well, I didn't want my wife to know.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I think it's now pretty much just us. So I'm glad they're still doing it on Zoom.
Yeah. Well, it's not a standout crowd either way, but it was nice. I mean, I went this morning because I went to library Minha this morning because
Uh-huh.
Marley's went to meditation.
Yeah.
And so I have to get up much earlier for Marley's. Like she